Facebook. Welcome to Randi's Facebook Live episode, Skylar, what is it? Thank you, 9. I'm glad I have Skylar here because she's helping me remember what episode it is. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining. It's actually a lovely warm day in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm coming to you from. It is Sunday evening, and we're gathered tonight to have a little bit of community in these really crazy and uncertain times where we are desperately trying to reach out to one another while making sure that we social distance ourselves. And so it's been hard. So when I started these over a week ago, I said I would come on every night for about 30 minutes to connect with friends, connect with loved ones, reach out, call across the airwaves to people, see how they're doing in different states. And we've done it now for a week and a day. And we is my crew. I got a crew up in here, which consists of my husband Andrew on camera and my audience of one, but what an audience of one it is, so yes.
Oh, the tongue. What's the tongue?
Were you doing like a selfie face? Like you thought you were doing an emoji face? Like, that's okay. Seriously, whatever. At this point, you're an emoji face. How
Can
are
you do a separate
Skylar?
emoji face right now?
What? Can you do all the emojis?
A different one right now, and go. Okay.
Is that one? Maybe.
One more.
You'd be a really cute emoji.
And go.
Oh, that's good.
Okay,
the
that's
one
a good
with
one.
The eyes. I like the one with the eyes like that. So this is my little family unit, and we are hunkered down here in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you're just tuning in for the first time tonight, thanks for joining us. When I decided to do these a little over a week ago, I was thinking we would just do them for a little while. Not sure how many days we'd do it, but it would be a nice way to connect with people. And it's looking like we might be doing this for a while. And so my promise is to come to you every night that I'm able with my little family to bring some music and bring some other people's perspectives and just sort of have a minute together if we can. When I was planning the week ahead and I looked forward to this day, I thought to myself, I wonder what the world's going to look like 7 days from now because it's changing so rapidly, We've been reaching out to people in all different states, and in all different states things are looking, pretty grim in some areas, and we've heard about some recent deaths of loved ones, people that we know through other people in our Facebook family. And so I was really thinking about what I wanted to do tonight, and I thought tonight we would do something a little different, and we do more of a spiritual, sort of faith-based Randi's Facebook Live, because mostly my heart was needing it, and I was feeling like it would be a good thing to do. And selfishly, this is a way for me to connect with my friends and make sure you guys are all okay. And we keep it live like this to make sure that people can check in and that we can check in with you. So speaking of checking in, let's see if anyone is checking in right now. I'm going to click on my little monitor over here and see what's going on. Well, we've got San Diego in the house, and oh my goodness, look at all the people coming on. Hi, Sabrina. So nice to see everybody. I'm trying to click on to see who's here. You're in for a bunch of special things tonight. So I usually start these out by saying what we did today. So what we did today, we got up, we had breakfast. We did kitchen table church. We watched a little kids ministry online, which was sort of fun. And we talked about gratitude. That was sort of the word of this morning. And I asked Skylar 3 things that she was grateful for. First 3 things that came to her mind, and she was incredibly honest. She said family, awesome. Then she said food, which is a good thing to be grateful for right now, especially if you've been out to a grocery store recently, right? It's not that easy. And then, I can't read my writing. You said hair? No, you said family, food, and your home. Home, not hair. Home. Yes, no, but your hair looks nice. Home. Yes, grateful to have a roof over our head and thinking about all the people that are not in that situation tonight and that are hurting. I thought tonight I'd do a little music and I'd read a couple things going on with the rest of our day. We just sort of planned for tonight. And then later on in the evening, we are going to have dinner with the Heldmans. What? How are you doing that? Noah, my longtime band member, and his wife and 2 sons were supposed to be here this weekend to have their spring break with us. And we were going to be having a whole lot of fun, and we were going to be singing over at Belcourt Taps. But that trip got canceled, or as I like to say, postponed to another time. So tonight we are doing a dinner virtually, which I think is a great idea, and you should do this too. So we're having the same meal. They're having their meal in San Diego, California, and we're having our meal in Nashville, Tennessee. Skylar's wanting to know what it is. You'll see, but I promise you'll be happy. 2 meals at the same time on Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. And a little community together. So it should be really fun, and it's just another creative way to sort of like reach out. So you're in for a treat tonight. We've got a lot of special things, a lot of special guests. And who else is in here? Jennifer Horth from Wisconsin. Hi. Hi, Jenny Serban. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Ash. Hi, Jess Goldman-Hellman. So nice to see you. Okay, so this is a song that I haven't sung in a long time. It's a song off of my holiday CD called December that was released a few years ago. I listened to it today as I was sort of getting ready for this, and then I decided that I wanted to play it, and so I'm going to head and sing it right now for you.
Wind was strong, I couldn't bend. You said, hold on, I didn't know what that meant. So you carried me. The storm was fierce, the ship blew aground, the waves crashed deep. Mass flew down, but you were there for me. And when I thought all hope was gone, when I am lost and fear has settled in, my hands are tied. I'm weak, my body's thin. I fall down and beg you for your grace. I don't have much, but I have this. I have my faith. I have my faith. The race was long and I grew tired, and I fell down just short of this finish line. So you ran for me, and silly me, I thought those footprints were mine. Little did I see you were carrying me all the time. You've always been there for me. There, when I am lost and fear has settled in, my hands are tired, I'm weak, my body's thin. I fall down, I beg you for your grace, 'cause I don't have much, but I have this. I have my faith. Sometimes I have to run away. In the silence I can pray. When
send that song out to the Serban family. They are extended family members of a dear friend and choir member friend of mine from my time at USD. And I know that they're hurting and they're going through some things right now. And I know a lot of you are. Feel free to put a message here up on Facebook. There's a little bit of a lag time, but if you want me to send out shout out of love and have the community sort of send prayers and lift them up, then I'm happy to do that tonight. There's a lot of people hurting, and I was afraid that this might happen. You know, the Facebook community, we're really good nowadays about sharing information, and thank goodness that we are. That was really a wonderful thing that happened here in Tennessee after the tornadoes hit. I was amazed how people were able to get information, you know, what people needed things, who needed shelter, what churches were collecting goods, and I thought, it's amazing the speed at which information can travel. What I started noticing the other day was the speed at which information about people that were hurting was traveling and the loss of loved ones, and I was afraid that the numbers would increase in my circle, and I'm afraid you're seeing this in your circle too. And so tonight is just a time to really keep people in our hearts. I'm going to read something real fast right now. I was online this morning looking for words of wisdom, and this is, I lift my eyes up to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from love abundant. My help comes from the hills. My help. It comes from ancient mothers whose hearts beat in mine. It comes from the trees that sway and the breeze that sways them. It comes from all that was and all that will ever be. I lift my eyes, hushed by the soothing touch of waves caressing wounded shores, wounded souls. I lift my eyes to the horizon, bathed by the hum of mothers and mothers, cradling, gently rocking. I lift my voice, call of the sea, trees, sister moon, mother earth, my soul weeping, a symphony of life overflowing. I give myself, I too hum through every pore with every breath. I give myself an extension of all that is, was, and ever will be. It's a poem by Alicia Ford from Colorado, a UU member. Let's check back in and see if anyone has anyone they want to talk to right now. Lots of people sending love and connecting. Let me refresh this page. Hi, San Diego. Hi, Abby. Hi, Miss Donna. Hi, Roxanne. It's so good to see you. This is a beautiful way to connect, and it's a special thing to do. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about our guest that's coming on tonight. I'm having a friend of mine come in this evening, someone that I've known for a long time, and someone who is very, very responsible with me for us being in Nashville, Tennessee, because I would come out to sing at some events. You know, this is the best part of the night, I have to say, that Skylar doesn't know ahead of time who the guest is going to be, and she's always curious about whether or not she knows the person that's going to dial in. So she always tries to see if she can guess it as I'm saying it, right? But sometimes she's surprised when they sort of pop up on the screen, right? Yeah.
But I might
Yeah.
know who it is.
But you may know who it is. You think maybe you know who it is? Okay. Let's turn the volume up and see if we have look at that. And it's just like Mr. Rogers. We have a call. I'll introduce in a second. Well, hey! Hi, friend! How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to see you. I was just about to sort of introduce you. So everybody out there, this is Jason. Say hi to Jason. Jason, say hi to all the tens of thousands of people watching right now.
Hi.
You never know. Could be. Well, there's quite a few on right now. Hi, Ed. We've got New York. We have San Diego. We've got Colorado. We have New Mexico in the house. The other night we had Japan. So you don't know. We could really be. We're all over the place. So this is my friend Jason Warner. And I was starting to tell them about how you're very much responsible, like it or not, for me and our little family being in Tennessee. I'd been coming out here for years to tour, and Jason is a longtime friend of mine. We've done a lot of musical things together. I've joined him when he sung at some churches, and I just adore his beautiful little family. And one of my last trips when my mom was fighting her last battle with cancer, I was mentioning that I felt like maybe the sign was that it was time for our little family to leave. And as many of you know, after my mom passed away, we did bring my family here to Nashville. And it was hard for us to leave California, where we have such an incredible tribe of people that we love, and a lot of aunties and uncles are there, family close by, but we knew it was the right decision, and knowing that we had family to come to here was really important part of making that decision. So let's check in with our friend Jason right now and see how he's doing. First of all, tell everyone out there that might not know, where are you calling in from today? Where are you?
We are in Franklin, Tennessee, from Gratitude Ranch, our home.
And do you want to tell them what Gratitude Ranch is? Because it just sounds really cool. Now they're just like, this guy lives on a ranch. That's awesome. Tell us a little something about Gratitude Ranch.
So Gratitude Ranch, DeMarco and I, for those of you that know us, then you probably would know that we toured together for many years. And that's actually how we met Randy, was at Milwaukee Pride Fest. We were singing together. And then we ended up in 2011, had twin boys through surrogacy, and decided that living in LA was not conducive with our current lifestyle. And so we decided to move to Tennessee, and we actually moved here in 2013. And then in 2014, we bought a farm.
Yeah. You
And
bought the farm. I love it. I
And
love
we
that you
basically
did that.
we did gratitudes with the boys every morning with our boys. Our boys are now 8, almost 9. It's Mason and Noah.
Beautiful
And,
children.
at the time, we would drive them to preschool. We would do gratitudes every morning, and we were trying to come up for a name for the ranch and figure out what it was. And of course, I was coming up with names like Pixie Meadow and Magic Meadow.
If you know Jason, that seems totally appropriate. You're like, yes, Pixie Meadow sounds great. Yes.
I'm like, oh, let's name it Magic Meadows. And DeMarco said no. And so one morning we were doing the gratitudes with the boys, and I accidentally said, hey, let's do our gratitudes. And I was like, gratitude, and then I thought of a dude ranch.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm
was
surprised
like,
no one else had it. It's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
And
It's all
so
about being grateful, so it suits us.
it's actually perfect for you because they live it and they demonstrate it also. So along with being these wonderful humans and these remarkable singers and having this really incredible life of touring, and I'll tell you about their YouTube stuff that you can find out there, and their links to their music and stuff after we do the interview. But they also do a lot with a nonprofit organization that I'd love for you to talk to a little bit. And I want to know also, like, so they're on a farm. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, I guess, what it's like in this time of social isolation. Are you feeling lucky that you're in the space that you are? How do you think it's different being out in the part of Tennessee where you are, as opposed to like being in the city? What do you tell me about that?
Well, we've talked about it with the boys, and we have some friends, and they're, basically hunkered down in their apartments. And I've said to the boys multiple times, I've said, guys, we are so lucky to live out where we live, to live in the country where today we went down to the creek, and we were sitting in the creek, and the boys were splashing in the creek and playing in the creek. And so, we're just I feel very fortunate right now to be able to breathe in this fresh country air. Of course, you're breathing in a lot of pollen with it.
Right, allergies, right, good point, yeah.
But no, I feel like I'm very grateful for living where we live right now, because, the further out you are, the safer you feel. I mean, that's just sadly, that's the way it is right now.
I think so. It's taking social distancing to a whole different level. So Jason and DeMarco also run a nonprofit. Tell us a little bit about the nonprofit. I'm actually noticing, as I'm kind of doing a couple things here right now, I'm following on with the feed, and I see a dear friend of mine that runs Campus Pride out there and does a lot of work against anti-hate. Yeah, Shane is on, and so I'm interested to hear how this has hit the nonprofit community. I'm going to have some people on later on in the week when lots of people are losing their job, when people are so scared about what tomorrow is going to bring. It's really hard to think of then giving. But, the South is incredible, Nashville's incredible, and people still try to give, even when they don't know what the future sort of holds for them. Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and kind of how you think this time is sort of either bringing awareness to, because I've been thinking about your nonprofit and what you do a lot, and kind of how that affects you. Go ahead and talk about that a bit.
Well, it's, the timing of this for everyone is not good, but for nonprofits especially, it's harder. It's very hard, difficult. we're up against a lot right now as a nonprofit. We have, this past September, we actually closed on a neighboring property that we've been rehabbing, and we are getting it ready to house foster youth. So our nonprofit is called S.A.F.E, Safe Affirming Family Environment. We serve foster youth and foster families in Middle Tennessee. And so we offer several different programming, and I won't go into all the programs we offer, but it's affecting us. We do free birthday parties for foster kids. We've had to cancel all birthday parties.
Heartbreaking.
We do camps for foster teens. We've had to cancel the camp, until further notice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest thing is we've been rehabbing this house for the last 6 months, getting it ready for our housing program, where we're going to be fostering 4 teens with a foster parent. And we don't know how it's going to affect that. I'm hoping it won't, and that these kids still need placement, whether there's a virus going around or not.
Right.
Yes. But it's affecting the fundraising efforts because, number one, Nashville just experienced a horrific tornado.
Right.
And then number two, we're now going through this virus situation where, people aren't working, people are losing income. So it's very concerning, as a nonprofit and as the executive director of the nonprofit. My job is to go out there and to fundraise, and you almost feel guilty fundraising because there's so many needs right now. And it's just, you just wonder, how are people going to be in a position to give financially to this program? And yet to get the program launched, you've got to have that financial support. So it's definitely, there's it's one on the fundraising portion, it's difficult, but then also on the serving portion, in the programming, that's being affected, and that we can't offer the programming that we really want. Our Easter event is our biggest annual event for the community. We have 150 foster families come, and that was an Easter egg hunt planned April 11th, and we've had to cancel that. But I'm excited that I think I had a brilliant idea, and instead we're going to do a Halloween hoedown. So we're going to reschedule it.
I love it.
It's going to be on Halloween. Halloween just so happens to be on a Saturday this year, so we're basically going to do our Easter event on Halloween.
Good. And they do this for foster families and foster kids. It's beautiful what you do. It's beautiful. Everything about what you guys do and how you live your life is beautiful. And so when I started touring with these guys, they were very well known in the pop community, but they were also very well known in the spirit community and spirit singing and faith-based music. And so when I was thinking about this evening, we were going to check in with our dear friend Daniel. He was going to be one of the people we talked to tonight. Daniel won't be able to join us because, as you know, his apartment suffered a fire. But he's going to come on next week. But I was thinking of people that I could sort of reach out for this different kind of night I wanted to do. And of course, I immediately thought of Jason. And I thought Jason and Dee they've just lived this life, and they go around to a lot of churches telling their story and uplifting people in music. And so I wonder if you wouldn't mind singing a little something for us tonight. This is this is the way that we're doing it now in the age of social distancing, and it's through computer, by way of phone, by way of sound waves and airwaves. But I just think it would mean a lot to our viewers to hear you, and I know personally it would mean a lot to our little family if we could hear you sing a little something. So would you do that for me?
Sure. DeMarco.
Hi, DeMarco. Look at that. My special guest has a special guest. It's good to see you, friends.
Okay, we're going to do, we thought about doing something upbeat, but then we thought, oh, you know what, this is a good one. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. So we're going to sing His Eyes on the Sparrow for everybody tonight.
Oh, beautiful.
What's the key?
That was a good question.
Sorry, you're supposed to have the key ready.
It's the key of awesome.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heavenly home? When Jesus is my portion, my constant friend is He. Yes, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Yes, His eye is on He watches me. And I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I'm free. For his eye is on the sparrow. And I know he watches over me, over you and me. Yes, I know he watches me.
I wish you could have seen the it's the only part about this that's unfortunate. You can't see all the bubbles of hearts bursting and like little rainbows flying up of people. Mary's on, all these people are on. It's just so awesome. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that for us. And yeah, it is true that there are some songs right now that sort of center you and just you really turn to. It's interesting, you know, and those are the songs that just always sort of like creep up when you need them most. Yeah. And they're comforting. And I always say that we're really lucky, I think, as musicians, as artists, that we have this thing to fall back on, which is our art, you know? And I always joke that music is therapy for me, but it's really true. And I know how lucky I am to be able to turn to music and actually not just listen to it, but perform it. And it's a way to kind of help my soul heal. And I'm sure you guys feel that too.
And just watching the Facebook videos and posts, it's so inspiring, and it's just to watch musicians and singers just share their spirit and their soul at a time where we need it. It's magical. Yeah, there's been many tears shed of watching videos out there where you get goosebumps, and you know, it's amazing how we're all connected through this, thank God we have internet, even though we're on satellite. Thank God we have it.
That's part of that farm to table you got going on there. Well, you came through great, loud and clear. So I'm going to ask you now. Well, before I ask you the 3 questions that I'm asking everybody, if people are interested in getting your music, and you know, this is something that I've been saying every single night if I do have a musician on. We certainly don't expect right now everybody to be able to tip musicians or to go out and even support music, but when this is over, if you want to go ahead and look for some CDs, or if you just want to go to YouTube, what do we look for and how do we spell it if we're looking for your music to hear more of that beautiful stuff that we just heard?
Well, everything of ours is on Spotify, so if you have a Spotify account, look up Jason and DeMarco.
Great.
Some of it's out there, Jason A.N.D. DeMarco, and others is Jason ampersand DeMarco.
Right.
But if you look out there, you find it there on iTunes, YouTube, anywhere. We're, you know, but Spotify and iTunes is great if you want to actually listen to the CDs. Otherwise, YouTube is more live videos of past concerts.
Awesome. Okay, so here are the 3 questions. I thought this was a nice way to get everyone's perspective on things. So the first question is, what do you think for you and maybe for your family has been the hardest part of this time of social isolation and distancing and just kind of this quarantine time, whatever that means? What's been the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me, for my family, honestly, I don't feel like it's been that hard for my family. The boys are having a blast. They've handled it amazing. They love not being in school.
Right.
I mean, they're doing their work on the computer. You know, luckily they log into so much at the school anyway and work on the computer so much that it's just they're doing that from home. So I'm really impressed with the tools that we have. For me, anxiety personally has been the most difficult. You know, it's like my electric thermometer has definitely gotten wore out.
I think you're going to get so many claps on that. I feel like a lot of people are with you. A lot of people checking their temperatures.
I'm like, does this battery ever die? Because I have been using it a lot.
That's a very honest thing to say, Jason.
Yeah, but you know, it's just the anxiety of it all. And my parents, they're in their 70s, so they drive in our driveway, and we all go out on our screen and back deck and just wave at them and say, I love you. And you know, so that's really difficult not to be able to just be with them and just our friends and it's been difficult. But in the scheme of things, I feel very fortunate, and it's worth the difficulty and the isolation. It's worth it right now to hopefully get through this sooner.
Absolutely.
We don't want to have to be doing this for 3 months.
No, absolutely. That's a beautiful perspective. That's why I love doing this with people and checking in. Okay, so then what would you say would be the silver lining? What did you already mentioned a couple blessings. What do you think if there is a best part for you has been the best part of this?
Well, I think it's DeMarco said pizza and wine every night.
Oh, see, there you go. Okay, we all have a thing.
I think for me, I posted this on my Facebook page, and I was hoping it wouldn't get any backlash, and it didn't. But I said it's almost like the earth needed a bath, and I just feel like this virus is an energy, and it takes on it's an energy. As everything is, as we are, everything is a life force. Everything is manifested to have an experience. We're here to have our soul is here to have a soul journey and have its soul experience, and this virus is here to have an experience, and it's having it, and we can either fear it or we can just basically understand that this is something we need to get through. And I believe it's causing us to love greater. It's causing us to join together. It's causing unity. It's causing us to reflect and look at life in a very different way. I don't think, I think eventually we may get back to where we were, but I think it's going to be a while before we just get back to the way things were. I think a lot of us were almost walking around sleepwalking. I think people are going to really be grateful for a lot more when they're out of this and look at the world differently. And I think we needed a wake-up call, and this sure has given it to us.
This is certainly a wake-up call, yes. And I will say that you're not the first person to mention that they feel like this, especially just with like an appreciation for things. It's really forcing people to find gratitude for things that they may have just completely taken for granted. So it's a very hard thing, when people are dying, to say that there are some silver linings, but there are definitely ways to interpret this. So I totally appreciate you sharing that. Okay, so then the last question, and this is where I ask everyone to get kind of deep, but I know you, and we've had some very long, deep conversations, so hopefully you have a glass of Chardonnay there, because that's usually when we do our deep talking. But what have you learned? What would you say? And I know when I check back with people in a few months, depending on how long this goes, that might be different, but what have you learned right now at this stage of this situation we're in?
There's the question of what have I learned and what have I discovered. I don't know if those are the same thing, but what I've discovered is how great of a fear there is of death. Because really when it comes down to it, what this virus has caused to surface is people's demise and the fear of that. And I've never really feared death. My spiritual beliefs are as such that I don't necessarily look forward to it, but I don't fear it. But with this, but I fear leaving my children. I fear them not having me around if something were to happen, and that's what I fear. And so because of that, it does cause anxiety, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't die. I can't leave them. But it's really, I'm amazed at how people really fear death. And so I don't know if that's what I've learned. I think what I'm learning through it is how we can really survive. This isn't as bad as it could be. Grocery stores are still open, where everybody kind of ran out trying to get and hoard and think, oh my God, it's the end times. And you know what? The grocery stores are open. Sure, maybe they're lacking certain things, but overall in the pandemic, we're still functioning. Amazon is still delivering, we're not in this danger zone at this point with, oh my God, we're going to starve. And so that's encouraging. I think that we as a society, to know that we can get through this, so that if it does happen again, I don't think people will panic as much next time if this happens again. Which hopefully it doesn't, but I have a strange feeling this isn't the first thing we're going to be facing. You
and a few scientists out there. But I think that's also a really great perspective. And it's funny, for as many people as we've had on, no two people have said the same thing. That's really interesting too, dealing with our own, impressions of death and what that looks like for each of us, and then also thinking about how we handle this. Are we being tested, because we might have to handle something like this again? So really good things to think about. Thank you so much for singing for me. It's really selfish. Even if nobody else was out there, I would just call you to sing to me, which actually he'll tell you I've made them do before. Really, anytime I get them together, I'm pretty much like cook for me and sing for me, and I usually get my way, so that's good. So, but we love you so much. Our family loves your family. Please hug the parents, please. You know, even if it's a virtual hug at the end of the driveway, please kiss on those kiddos. We love those boys so much. Hold one another and know that we're thinking of you. And as soon as this is over, we are coming down there for a good meal, good bottle of wine, a little hillbilly clue, and we are going to have a really good party.
Last night and we had to cancel.
And this is a hillbilly clue murder mystery they do at the farm. I will tag a link to that too, because that's a really good time. And you're definitely going to need that kind of an outlet when this is all over. So, well, big prayers to you. I love you, my friend. Thank you for joining us tonight, okay?
Love you. God
Okay,
bless
good
everybody.
night. Yes, God bless. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there's our friend. I know, getting out of this is always tricky. That's my Jason. That's my Jason. So many people coming in from all over. We even have someone from Maine watching. How great is that? Andrew, you happy about
I am.
that? I know, our Maine people.
Why are you surprised by that?
This is Cahill Gibran, Upon the Sand, and I hope I said that right. Said one man to another, at the high tide of the sea long ago, with the point of my staff I wrote a line upon the sand, and the people still pause to read it, and they are careful that naught shall erase it. And the other man said, and I too wrote a line upon the sand, but it was at low tide, and the waves of the vast sea washed it away. But tell me, what did you write? And the first man answered and said, I wrote this, I am he who is. But what did you write? And the other man said, this I wrote, I am but a drop of this great ocean. And we're all drops in a great ocean. And tonight you're really in for a treat. You're going to be seeing some dear friends of mine and that I had the good fortune of singing with and connecting with and praying with this morning while the birds were chirping, and it was just what I needed. And before I introduce you to them, I'm going to do something that I haven't probably sung in years, but that's okay. It was bound to happen, right? I mean, it's me. Thanks so much, Jason and DeMarco, for joining us. So chat rooms are great and group texts are great, and I've been trying to connect with a lot of people for the past few weeks. That I was talking to someone saying that where we might normally just text someone, now we're actually FaceTiming, trying to reach out, or our texts are a little longer, our emails a little longer, our calls are a little longer. And I have a lovely group of friends that I've stayed in touch with for tens of years from the choir at University of San Diego under the beautiful direction of my dear friend, Annette Welsh. And this beautiful choir, this morning we decided to do a Zoom meeting together, and we did. And we spoke, and we thought it would be so good to be in one another's space right now, singing like we did every Sunday at Founders Chapel, And we know we can't do that. And we know there's lots of high-tech ways to do it, but this was this morning at about noon here in Nashville. And so I asked them all to do me a favor. I said, would you do something for me? Would you sing a little for me? And with the help of my amazing cameraman slash husband slash editor slash director, maybe we can put something together that would make me feel better, and maybe it would give us a chance to feel like we're at Founders tonight. And even though two of them are very ill right now, both of them actually, are quarantined in their own house in separate rooms. Imagine how hard that must be. And even though some of them know people that are very sick, Jenny and Mike have a beloved family member that's very ill right now. Somehow they all put that phone up to their face and they said, okay. And then in about 2 hours we edited something together. And so I think we're gonna keep doing these because they make me feel good. You know, this whole week I've been wearing t-shirts, right, to support a cause or support something I believe in or someone I wanna give a shout out to. And so I ran into my closet. This is a very, very, very old, but to me precious University of San Diego sweatshirt because this was actually my father's sweatshirt. This was your grandpa's, Skylar Faith. I know you never met him, but this was Neil's, and it shrank many, many times, and so now I can wear it. And so I'm going to put this on right now before I go ahead and show you what Andrew was able to create. Just a little something that if we were together tonight, all of us from many, many different years, we all had different years that we were there. Some of us were there for longer than others, and some of us moved to other places, people from the Bay Area, people from other countries, people that are still in San Diego, people in Nashville. So a big shout out to all of my friends, and I'm going to show you what we did with them as if we were at Founders Choir. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm. 1 second.
You want me to press play when you get in there?
Yep. We are.
Okay. And will that go away probably?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above
With wisdom, power, and love, our God is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Now, you guys are in many different faith-based spiritual communities. All of my friends all over in the many different churches. At Chalice, I've been thinking of you guys. Back at Morrow Memorial in New Jersey. Community in Huntington. Wherever you worship, wherever you find your center. There are so many different places right now to find a way to be at peace, and so many different beautiful ways to do that. I mean, our dear friend Zach always talks about those morning meditations that are so important, ways to come together, wherever it is that you find your center, in your book club, with your family, quiet time, out by the fire, just sitting, being alone with your thoughts, thinking about your loved ones. There's no one or right way to find a space, and faith means so many different things to so many different people, right? So many different things. But I do know one thing, that however you find that sense of peace, even if it's just a moment with your furry creature on a yoga mat, or just listening to some music on a walk, or looking at the really loud birds outside of Skylar Faith's window, that it's important that we find that right now. And so I'm sending out love to everyone tonight who's sick, everyone that's lost someone, and we're here together in this, and we're gonna stay that way. Big love to my USD community for doing that. It was really amazing that you guys all did that. You woke up in the morning and you did a video, and there it was. So we'll be doing fun stuff like that this week. We've got great people calling in this week, and some really amazing things that you're gonna see, and I'm super touched by it. I'm Randi Driscoll. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, and you're my tribe, and I love you. Have a great evening, and I will see you again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.